Good afternoon, Eugenia Kuzmina. Welcome on VH Berries.
Thank you so much, Victor. I'm very excited to be here on VH Berries. Hello, everyone, and happy to chat with you today.
I am very grateful. This year, 2022, has been very busy for you.
Yeah, I think actually I've been working through the whole pandemic, surprisingly, but this year I finished Guy Ritchie's film. It's supposed to come out, I think in October, was supposed to come out in March. So sorry guys for all of you that thought that it's coming in March, but there was some kind of a change with distribution of the film. I'm very excited for it. It has Jason Statham, Hugh Grant, Carrie Elvis, Aubrey Plaza. Really fun. We shot it, somehow managed to shoot this film in pandemic actually times in Turkey, and the location was changing so much because, if you don't know, with production, it really kind of made it hard for independent films to be made just because of the insurances and things like that and the lockdowns. Very excited about that. Also, I'm currently working on the show called The Supermodels of Comedy. I'm a comedian besides being an actor and a model and a mom. And, I came up with the idea to do it for a really good cause, for something like raise awareness for anti-human trafficking or equal rights, like equal means equal. And I'm working with women forward, organization who are coming from Washington. And I thought, if you want to change the world, you can change it with laughter. And it's such a powerful tool. And I decided, who doesn't want to see hot models doing comedy? So kind of got it all in once, and trying to give voices to people who don't have a voice, and, talk about the subjects that are not so easy to talk. And really excited working with Barry Katz, a super manager, producer who, has an amazing show in Vegas now. I'm at Apple. You should check it out. So yeah, I can go for an hour, if you want me to mention everything that I've been lucky to be part on, been really lucky to, and lucky to be here talking to you.
Absolutely, Eugenia Kuzmina. You just mentioned, for example, that movie called Operation Fortune, Ruse de guerre, that I would love to come back just after. But before, there is an event that happened around a month ago or even less, which was in the south of France. Can you tell us a little bit more about it?
There's so many events. Trust me, I wake up every day and I'm like, what was happening yesterday? I was in Cannes Film Festival, if you're talking about that little event in the south of France. Oui, j'adore Paris. I love France. I kind of feel I'm more French than Russian, to be honest with you. Just because I love the culture and the people. I grew up there since I was 15 and worked with Yves Saint Laurent in fashion and amazing designers. We're so lucky to be around all the creative, artists. And for me, it feels really like home. I'm actually planning to shoot a film there. We did a play last year. Cannes was interesting just because, people were not doing festivals for quite a long time now. I would say 2 years that we were all home and scared to go. And I felt like this time people really came out and everybody was so excited. And it was weird for all of us, just because we're not used to be part of festivals and being with 50 people and, in the place. And personally, I loved it. I had the best time. Honestly, I love the films that I saw. David Cronenberg's film was quite disturbing. I love Elvis' film. Woody Harrelson did, an amazing film. So there's a Korean film that won the festival. So what I really love about it is that it really supports independent artists, something that is really hard to do, because you can never find money for stories that are actually independent and not like a cookie cutter. I feel sometimes in Hollywood it's easy to do Matrix 10 and nothing wrong with that. But I love to go to festivals and discover artists who, got there and they were starving and then they won Cannes and then their career is made. And it's always great to see that, happening. Besides everything else, that goes on in Cannes, a lot of fashion and, things are changing now with YouTube and TikTok. A lot of people who came there were TikTok stars, and I still have to catch up on the trend. But it's definitely a changing world we live in, I can say.
It is definitely a changing world. And another point is that to celebrate the return of the Cannes Festival and with all that very special atmosphere, you came on the red carpet, not with one dresses, not two, but actually 3 different ones.
Yeah, it was a surprise. I was supposed to go to 2 premieres, but then was invited to actually 4 premieres that I went, and I'm really excited, to support artists. And it's nerve-wracking to walk the carpet in Cannes. Anybody who ever done it knows it, how crazy it is. It takes 2 hours just to sit in the car and get ready to get out with security. And especially now, in the world we live in, there's like extra security everywhere. And the festival is super, super protective of, artists and actors. So it takes a while. They have to check your cars, and you sit in the car for 2 hours in these humongous dresses that are just one of a kind. And the designers are so excited, and the jewelry people are so excited because it's a good promotion and supportive of, their work that you do. So then you just have to make your timing, and because every star in the world is there, and everybody works that one magical carpet. And it is an experience for sure. I was really grateful to do it for 2 years now. And hopefully we'll be back, next year.
You will be back, and you attended, as you just mentioned before, Eugenia Kuzmina, multiples premiere of a lot of new releases. And you just mentioned, for example, Broker, called Les Bonnes Étoiles, which is one of those movies.
Yeah, it's the film. I think that was the film that won the festival. And I think it's just really interesting to discover, different artists and how directors work on it and how hard they work on things. And I mean, but Elvis for me was the movie that really connected to me on so many emotional levels.
And one of the most iconic and classical aspect of that event is also the standing ovation after every screening.
Absolutely.
Did you had the chance to experience that and to clap your hands so hard that you become tired?
Yeah, they were clapping. I think it was the longest standing ovation for Elvis. I don't know, in the history of festival, maybe in the history of this specific season in Cannes. But it is, it takes a lot to make anything in this life, anything, but specifically movies, just because it's such a complicated process. And, especially during pandemic, I think it took them a long time to shoot it. And I think it's not enough of time to wait, because you really kind of made it, and now you can celebrate because how much work and tears and whatever else goes into make it happen.
Absolutely. And Eugenia Kuzmina, I noticed that everything in your journey evolves around, as we just mentioned before, of course, cinema and fashion and also comedy, which is a very unique combination.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think when I started doing comedy, people couldn't believe it, and they still can't, because a lot of times they're like, well, somebody said that maybe, a few years ago, oh, pretty women can be funny. And I was like, damn, you can't say that. I need to prove you wrong. And, when I started doing comedy, everybody was like, well, you have to look like you haven't showered for 5 days. And it just wasn't authentic to me, because I do come from fashion, and I love dressing up for fun. I love creativity. I love creativity that designers bring. I love to discover different fashions, new designers, up and coming designers. And I had to bring it on stage just because it's authentically part of my world and where I live in. And I think it paid off. Authenticity pays off. That's the most important thing. And you can do whatever you want to do. And, I learn how to break doors every day. I love what I do, but it's not easy. You know, I've been like, you are being told no every day as an artist. You just have to like learn how to live with it, no matter who you are, you know, how many films you did, how many, you know, billboards you had. Like, it's still that back to the grounding, which sometimes I do like because it keeps you very humble and it makes it all about the journey and not the destination. And that's what I love, the journey of it all, of creating something and putting it out and doing it for a good reason, you know, and having a voice and making, you know, inspiring other people to maybe start doing something similar or find their voice, you know. So that's definitely exciting.
I concur. And if I had a map in front of me, I would say that, and I would pick Las Vegas as the beginning of that authenticity that you just mentioned, because it is the place in which you're performing that special series and comedy called The Supermodels of Comedy. Can you tell us a little bit more about it?
Well, I haven't done that show in Vegas yet. We did the show, The Supermodels of Comedy, in February with Barry Katz, and it was at the Hollywood Roosevelt, which is an iconic hotel in Los Angeles. And currently we're putting it, my ideal would be to do it in Vegas if I could do a Delilah. Big shout out. I've been like there all the time and just finishing editing my footage to present it to them, and hopefully can combine comedy and music, because Vegas is amazing. You know, people come there, they want to be entertained, so you don't need to like beg the audience. You know, they want to come and have a fun time. And I think there's nothing better than comedy and music. We do have a show in Vegas. Please check it out. Doing 2 shows very soon, one on the 25th of June and one on the 23rd of July at Notoriety. It's a big club for comedy. We had sold out shows last time, and I'm pretty sure we'll have sold out show there this time as well. But Supermodels of Comedy is something that will take me, honestly, some more time to put together, because, you know, it's a process. Like, I'm co-producing it. And I apologize for my dog. I definitely know that he said, like, please, let's do the podcast in a quiet place. But you guys, whoever listens, we live in such a perfect world of you know, Zooms and everything else. But yeah, you know, Vegas is something that I fell in love with as a performer, and hopefully can get a residency and do it with other amazing models, and we can do something fantastic soon.
And when I'm trying to make some connection between all of your works, Eugenia Kuzmina, you just used that very powerful word of vulnerability. And I think that we can connect this to the title of that upcoming movie that contains the word Ruse de guerre. And ruse is a sort of word that means to pretend that you are not vulnerable.
Well, yeah, it's, you know, maybe it's a spy film, you guys. It's a very fun film. It's not specifically about vulnerability. I do play an MI6 agent, so that's more, you know, Hollywood side of my career. But it's super, super fun, you know. I think comedy and music are like the most vulnerable for me. And, you know, acting, I'm trying to do as much roles as I can, not to be typecast, but it's still hard because everything is political, and, you know, it's hard to, that's why I went to Cannes to support other artists. I had a voiceover project there that I was presenting, but other than that, I was mostly supporting artists who are independent and who want to have their voice and not be typecast.
You're mostly supporting artists, and in this feature film, you're playing a character called Marcia. How would you describe her personality and her attitude in general?
Very cold and ruthless. And yeah, she's like fake blonde. You know, I was talking to this producer in Cannes, and he's like, I just want to say one thing about blondes. Like, I never trust a blonde in my life. You know, so... Never trust a blonde in your life. That's how I describe her.
Absolutely. And next to that project, it makes a lot of sense to go into that Operation Fortune, because you've done a lot of action content. For example, another project called Spy City. So everything is related in a sense.
Yeah, well, that's the thing, you know. A lot of times, just because I come from where I come from, it's not specifically something that I connect to. Like, I'm Russian, but I really love America. You know, I feel myself more French. But my dad was a nuclear scientist in Russia, so I know a little bit about, you know, the government and the you know, secret agents, and it's something that is just kind of comes naturally with the culture I was brought up, and those are the roles that, you know, I get to be part of. Of course, I want to branch out and play a witch or, you know, some kind of more interesting things. I'm very excited. I played a mom recently in a film, and I was so excited. I called the director, Jack Cook. I was playing opposite Eric Roberts, and I'm like, "Are you sure you want to hire me? Because I'm Russian. Like, I never played a mom in Hollywood, you know, except for being a bad mom, like in Bad Moms." And he's like, no, we love your acting. And like, it's not about, you know, you being a spy. So there are really directors who are pushing, I think, and I'm grateful to be part of the team to, you know, to kind of diversify, you know, not be just the stereotype.
Eugenia Kuzmina, I saw a glimpse of Operation Fortune, and I am looking forward to see Marcia and Olsen Fortune. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. Thank you. And you guys, for everybody who's watching, this is not a perfect recording because my dog is in the background and I think I had to stop once. And hopefully you can edit it. But I really appreciate it. Thank you so much for chatting, and thank you for your beautiful questions. They definitely made me think, and I really appreciate you. So all the success to you and your program.